Watch the ride.
Hey everybody, hope you're all doing alright out there. So I've got a bit of time free because I'm currently waiting on a bike to be delivered, a review bike, which is supposed to be here in the next half hour, but then he's going to call when he's half an hour away, but he hasn't rung yet, so I don't know what's going on, so I might have to stop halfway through this video and carry on. But anyway, the other morning, I was thinking, there's an interesting thing about being a YouTuber and the sort of parasocial relationships that go on. A lot of you have watched me for years and know what I ride and know who I am and know a lot about me if you've watched enough videos. I don't know anything about the people that watch me. Nothing, really. I mean, okay, fine. I know quite a few of you through Discord and people I've met, but generally you have no idea who people are, if they ride, what they ride, how old they are, that sort of stuff. So, the other morning, I said, my bike is all covered in strings, but the real question is, what are you riding? This is from a recent video of testing aerodynamics on a motorcycle, which I hoped would go down better than it did. I realise sometimes I'm like, this is really cool, and then I'm like, wait, no, this is too nerdy. I'm getting into fluid dynamics and physics and stuff here. This is too much. So I have about 65 to get through. Now, I have said in the post that I may roast your bike, but I only said that if there's something there that I really kind of want to say something about, but don't want to be mean. If I say I might roast it and know that a roast is a well-meant roast, all bikes are amazing. If it gets you about, you love it, that's the perfect bike. But still, sometimes it's fun to... George Palmer Bailey, Sonic, the ZX9R C2. It's fast, it's blue, and was made in the 90s, hence the name choice. I nearly bought one of those. I don't know if it was a C2 or not, but I nearly bought one of those. I took it out test riding it when I was looking for my XJ6, and the one that I rode I was not very happy with. So yeah. There is a video of me riding it on my channel, but I didn't really ride it much. The ZX6R, I have ridden that quite a bit more. Great screamy bike. Also got videos on that. Alan Urquhart, Roast Away 2003 FJR 1300, aka the Land Budge. That looks like a bike that you can do miles on, and I think you do, and I know why you have that. But it is quite the jalopy, isn't it? And it's got all the panniers on it too, and I don't particularly like panniers. Now, I get why they're there, and I don't really need them, so that's why I don't have them. But when I do ride bikes with them, I get scared. And if you remember, when I was riding the Energica Xperia that had all the panniers on it, I nearly took a bollard out with that thing. And it was like a 30-gram bike with like £1,000 worth of luggage on it. Maybe more. I got lucky. But I am noticing from this picture that you appear actually to be showing me your right leg. So, as a right leg, I think it stands pretty well. Jack Martin, YZF-R125, great choice of bike. You know, they're not cheap, but they're good. And I've seen people ride the hell out of them as well, actually. However, the bus in the background, I have questions about. Stephen Davies, Mark 1 600 Bandit. Oh, the old 600 Bandits. I was only talking about this yesterday with some people on Discord. We were trying to, think about what bike engines were actually known to be really reliable. And I have a feeling the Bandit 600 air-cooled was a very reliable engine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from one of the first large bikes, in fact, the first large bike I ever rode, which was off the road, obviously, was a Bandit. And you can see that in some of my very old videos when I was in the Isle of Wight with my old mate Furious, who, if you're wondering, is doing fine, just continuing with life, as is Ginger Biker. Jim Moore, I call her Dorothy, and we did Scotland and back to Nottingham, 950 miles in 37 hours, minus 5 minutes. Oh, minus 5 hours of sleeping, so not the fastest bike in the world, but probably the most comfortable 23 Hoodlum. Damn! I mean, it appears that you found some roadkill along the way and it ended up underneath you, or maybe it was someone's cat who you sat on, but then it was comfy. Amazing work. Putting miles in on a 125, proving that, Chinese bikes can do it and don't have any problems. Fair play. Though I would like to ask, if you fill up your top box with a lot of heavy stuff, can you rip some massive wheelies? Paul Heritage. So we have this is a Harley, right? I'm not great with this style of bike. The handlebars remind me of when I rode my call him a boss. My old boss is who I did the boat work for. His cruiser that had that sort of style handlebars. It's very odd. It's very odd to ride like that, but it's such a different style of bike. I'm sure if you're used to riding that, then jump on say a supermoto, you're going to be like, "What? This feels weird." Is that a chicken on the tank? Okay, this I really like. Jason Thompson R125 again. Very nice livery. Great looking bike for a 125. Are you getting away with that L plate? Actually, it's on the front, so I don't have a problem with this. Let's not get into this one. Right, having an L plate on the front when you go to roundabouts makes people pull out on you. When you don't have one on the front, they don't pull out on you because they think you are faster. Well, they think you're slow if you've got L plates when actually you're not, because it's a 125 still quick. It's fine. But just no cut down plates are not legal in 3 points. I did it. Well, not cut down, I just didn't have a front one. Next, Emma Louise Moore. I don't know what bike that is. It's got more than one cylinder, so I don't think it's a 125. It looks bigger than that, but I actually couldn't tell you what brand that bike is. Wait, no, it's got an L plate on it with a crow, which I appreciate. So it's a V twin 125. I'm not going to look now. I will look at this later. I am a little bit stumped by exactly what bike this is. Nathan Smith with the Honda. Is that a CPX? I don't know the scooters. They all look the same to me, but good machine, and they're quick as well. I remember when I had my 125, someone who worked at the pub had, I think it was a CPX 125 or something very similar to it, and I was amazed how quick off the line that thing was. Impressive. And not a bad photo, I will say. Nice little spot. I've just lined the windows up a bit better. I think I tested it for more of a square or vertical image, so I was getting stuff cut off, so sorry about that. Jason Griffield. This is a V125 with a brand logo I don't know. I really am crap at bikes now, it would seem. I feel embarrassed. What is going on? I do like the security, though. The absolute on the one thing you want to check security. Oh wait, is it I think it's a Keyway. Is that the Keyway logo? Also, is this red reflections from something, or have you like buffed parts of the engine casing? Because it actually looks quite nice. If you imagine, it's like a polished. It can't be. It must be a reflection. Yeah, that is a Keyway. Okay, is that the logo? I didn't know that. Gary Richardson with the Kawasaki Z1000, but what I'm noticing more is this background and this here. This is the ship in where I live. You're local. So I better not say too much. Ah, goodbye. But I don't recognise your bike, so I don't know whether you have just visited. Because I feel like I'd recognise this bike. I know all the bikes around here pretty much. Oh, we have another one. This doesn't look like it's on the island. But another angle nonetheless. Okay, so is that Ryan? Wainwright? Sorry if I messed that up, I'm dyslexic. We have a DRZ. Let's go in for the closer look. Okay, so you've got the SP Engineering headlight, which is an amazing change to this bike. That's an Ace-Bis front fender from the looks of it, so I'm going to imagine this is probably Ace-Bis plastics as well, because they're so clean and nice looking. We have a skid plate. We have a helmet hung off of a foot peg. I hope you don't have dog poop on your boot. We have a Black Widow exhaust. I'm approving of all of this. Very nice. Also, steering lock, which you appear to have not put on because you didn't want to forget taking it off. Is it like Jack what? I'm sorry. I know kind of how to pronounce the last bit, but I'm having a real problem getting how do you get from K, U, and B to the bike. This appears to be is that a Harley? Is that a Road Glide? I don't know anything about Harleys, but the giant nose on these is something that I always I get why it's there. I bet it's amazing for wind protection, but it kind of makes it look like it's from a much, much larger bike. Like, much larger. But it does the job, and I'm sure you're very comfy. Robert Burney with the Tanner A7. I haven't ridden one. I want to. There's lots of Yamahas I want to ride, but I can't because the dealership closed down and Yamaha won't lend me bikes directly. They're like, come to the press days. I'm like, no, I don't do that. And they're like, go on. No. Braga Vicario, is that your name? With the SV Bikini, right? I think this is the SV1000, right? Because it looks different to the 600. I think. I'm just getting really confused mostly by bikes now. I've ridden the SV650, the older one, and obviously the much newer ones. Liam Parker with a Honda. Again, I have no idea. I didn't know so many of you rode cruiser style bikes. I've got to be careful what I say now. MT-07 from Alex Robert. It's an MT-07. That exhaust looks like it goes on for days. That actually looks like a proper cat. It looks like an artillery piece. I will also say, though, your shed is very nice and clean and tidy and a great place to, it looks like, to work. So, 10 out of 10. Leon Van... is that Strain? With a VFR. Again, another bike I nearly bought. Not this... Wait, no, is it this year? Is it with... No, this looks newer. An older VFR. I nearly bought one of those. Rider 1000. Now, is this something where you do some long distance thing? It's a bike you would do long distance stuff on. Your name looks like someone who would do lots of long distance miles. John Brain with a UM something in the dark. It is a UM in the sense of UM, right? But I thought UM stopped selling bikes here. Although they probably started selling... Oh no, they started selling themselves? Oh, the whole complicated thing happened with that. Donovan Hudson Bainbridge with a Triumph. I don't know what model of Triumph that is. It looks like an old Bonneville engine. So maybe it is, or maybe it's because it's slightly different. It's got a different name. This is an old one though. I'm sure of that by the brake discs in the single pot caliper. Very cool bike. Next, we have David Butchels. I hope I've said that right, and I've not butchered it. But we have a 2017 R1200R. Yeah, I've never ridden one of those. No. I'm sure that is a very comfortable mile-munching machine. Again, I need to get down to Barnstormer and ride more BMWs. Jordan Miller, I have your lanes filtering hoodie on in this pic. Ah, you do. Yes, you do. The yes is legal. I can tell by the design on the front there. And we have again in the YZF 125. Very nice. Great first bike. Great 125 in general. And thank you for the support of grabbing a hoodie. Talking about the names, BJ, is that, do you pronounce the B or do you know? So is it like Jorn or is it like Bjorn Norgard with an XR1000? I'm going to guess this is either in France or the Swiss side of the Alps. It looks like you had fun. Nice weather. I've only ridden the XR1000 once, and it was one hell of a bike. I know these bikes, so yeah, here we go. Hippodrones. I do like a bit of string theory. Currently riding 2 bikes, although I have 4. The other 2 are broken. They're not broken, they're resting, recuperating. Yamaha XSR 900 GP, which is something he's just recently got, and the V-Strom 800 Road Edition, which is the one I would have gone for if I was going to go for one of them. If you don't know Hippodrones, he's got a channel, check him out. This is a very cool bike. I would like to ride one of these at some point. Chris Wallace on a CB500X, I'm sure of that. With the panniers and stuff. And those panniers don't even look too big. That's quite nice. I reckon you can still filter that through traffic. But the question is, how good are their cakes and snacks? 2014 Honda CB500X, second one after losing compression on cylinder 1 on the old one at 97k. Wow. And that probably just needed a set of rings and Maybe a hone. Maybe a slightly different size piston. It all depends. Alan Nixon. Bandit 1200. Again, I never got to ride the Bandit 1200. Right? I've ridden the 6, but not on the road. I've never ridden one on the road. I really need to ride some of these older bikes. I try and get hold of them. It's just very difficult. Oh, the Bandit 600 was air-cooled, but it also had an oil cooler, didn't it? This is also an oil cooler. I bet that thing sounds nuts with that exhaust on it. It is now officially midday, and they have not called me, which is interesting. Where is Bike? Oh, don't you just love it when people don't call you and let you know when they're going to be there? He's literally outside now. So I'm going to continue this. The last one I did was Alan Nixon. I'm back. If you can work out from that key, that's what the bike is. Barry Thomas with the XJN. What a fine choice. And you really can see how with the XJ, they really did have the N and the S, the third one, is the same bike. And there's just a few changes. They're even using the same headlight. Really, it's just it's got a different bit connected to it. So I'm going to have to approve here. Also looks like you're in a nice place there. Joshua Vincent, SV650S. Bought it as an apprentice 7 years ago for 700 quid. Sat in my garage until I did my full license because COVID stopped me doing my A2. Fair. I hope you're enjoying it now. Abby Edis with a Triumph Street Triple RS, which is a bike I have ridden, but I have not ridden it with that exhaust on it, and I would be very interested to know what that sounds like. Of course, whenever I get to review bikes, they're always the vanilla one, the absolute stock one. Unless it's Hazelmere Motorcycles, then sometimes I get to try special stuff that they've pre-tweaked. Next up, we have Paul Stopford, who appears to be, again, is that the... Back again, he needed a picture of my ID. Right. Paul Stepford on a Honda Africa Twin 2020. He's also got a 2014 VFR 800. And he appears to be in the Alps. Is that the French side? The Swiss side? This looks like it's... that almost looks like a Spanish word, but... Nice bike. Nice location. See, this is the thing, actually, is I've already realised, is that, yeah, there's a few 125s in here, but most of these are bigger bikes. And it makes me wonder, like, are these people that didn't have full bike licenses when they started watching my videos? Matt Harper, Tiger 1050, you'll probably recognise the backdrop. I was immediately going to say, I know what car park that's in. It's interesting, actually. If you live near the sea, you only need to see the sea, and you generally can say if that's near your home or not, because the sea's a different colour everywhere, and there's a certain quality to the colour of the Solent that if I see it in video, with no context of like where it is, I'll go, that looks like the Solent, and then it turns out it is. Jake Branch with a BMW F800S and the VFR 750, both workhorses and moderately abused. Exactly the way bikes should be. Workhorses that are moderately abused. I will say the discs on the Honda are past moderately abused. But it's amazing how much cleaner the rest of that bike looks compared to those discs. Next up, we've got Mike Davis with a 2004 BMW R1200 GS. Oh, wait, hang on. And you've already posted one, haven't you? It's very yellow. I think, like, is that a yellow bike? It's got one bit of yellow on it. It's nearly as much number plate yellow as the fairings are yellow on it. How's that listed on like the logbook? Do I recognise this area? I do not. There is a sheep there. This is far too high in altitude. Is this like near Yorkshire or something? It's not near me. Or it might be Wales even. Mark O'Connell. Excuse the cluttered garage. Honda Rebel Level 100. That exhaust. I could just tell how loud that thing was going to be. Old Fitzy. Current state of my bike, fair to say it's less aerodynamic now than it was about 15 miles before picture was taken. Yes, I hope you're healing and learning your lessons. Next up, we have Brian Cox with a Triumph Sprint GT 1050. Again, it's a bike I want to ride at some point, and I might have the opportunity if I get my button gear after I've done this review. Mark Scott, a CB 500X 2015, although I'm in saving mode for a second bike too. Nice. To be fair, from, having ridden the CB500, having known people who've owned this bike seems to be a really good middle ground for a lot of people. It's not the fastest in the world by any means, but in the UK it's like super usable, super comfortable, big enough, blah blah blah. Okay, next up we have Mike Davies, currently on a 2011 Triumph Thunderbird 1600. That is a monster. I haven't ridden a Thunderbird. I've ridden obviously the Rockets, which I assume that is a rocket engine, same as the older rocket engine. Next up, we have Richard Bonnell with a Phaser 6 2002. My first bike after passing my test in 2023. Nice. Well done to you. Again, the Phaser's not a bike I've ridden, and obviously it is a contender sort of to the XJ6 in the ranges, and it was something I looked at. It might even be more comfortable for me being taller, but I do like the XJ6. Divvy. Jonathan Houston, I did have a Pulse Adrenaline and watch you from your days of owning yours. I now have a CB650F, first big bike, and I have owned it for 3 years. And it's clean, and it looks really nice. That is a very nicely shaped bike. I have to say, that is really actually very nice. Everything has got nice lines and angles to it. It all blends together nicely. The headlight, that's one of the most nicely integrated headlights I have seen. I know I'm supposed to be roasting things here, but that is a good looking bike. Next up we have Glenn Bennett with the least practical bike I've ever owned. Cannot bring myself to part with her. Poor man's Ducati or wise man's Ducati? We're going to go with wise. And it's a Honda VTR. Nice. Good looking bike. I do think bikes of the past were more classy looking than they look now. They're all very aggressive and razor's edge, but they don't have grace, if you know what I mean. Jason Matthew with a Triumph Tiger Sport. Again, I'm amazed of how most of you seem to not be on 125s these days as I click on a 125. Luke Turnbull, new to the biker community, currently have a Sinus RSX while I wait to get a full license. Nice. Good solid 125, have fun on it. I haven't reviewed that bike. I recognise the suspension. Yeah, I'm sure it's a fun bike to get around on. And good luck with your full license. Richard Knowles, 2003 Royal Enfield Bullet 500 ES. This was in Leominster on my way to Wales for a week tour with a few others from the local branch of the Royal Enfield Owners Club. From leaving to getting back home, I covered 700 miles-ish and didn't miss a beat. Nice. Again, very classic looking, but obviously it's 2003, it's more modern. Interesting. Modern classic. Modern classic. Michael Steedford, I would love to see you revisit the GSX S1000. Here is my Phantom Edition. I replaced my XJ6N 3-4 years ago. I do miss the buzzy little 600 for its engagement and could do so much, but for me, the fantastic engine of the GSX-R, albeit detuned for favoured torque, never fails to impress, and no matter the scenario, it does everything better. Hope you're on the mend. I am very much on the mend, thank you. And yeah, it's a lot more engine. It can do a lot more. It's a lot more sort of just comfortable. I get that, but as you know, the XJ6 buzzing around on that with that engine is great fun. Nice. I would like to revisit some things. I'd like to ride everything and anything. Joseph Zephy Phalon, a well-known name to me. It's going to be an old bike, isn't it? I daily this over the summer 1958 Triumph 3TA. My bright pink Van is on winter duty. Again, these bikes are just going and going. And it doesn't look out of place nowadays. Terry Ellis, 20-year-old Honda Hornet, 68 years old, and just passed my DAS, currently on holiday on Hailing Island. Oh, well, enjoy your visit and enjoy your bike, and good on you for getting on 2 wheels. It's never too late. I reckon you're going to be doing a video on slipstreams and aerodynamics. Huh? Oh, you answered my question well in advance. I did. Clark Hayward with a... This is when I have to try and work this out. I'm trying to work out what model this is. The tank makes me think like Phaser, like it's a newer naked Phaser, but I don't know the model number. It does again look very nice though. It's very together. Stuart Watt, BMW R9T Racer. Very nice. I've enjoyed driving the R9T. Having my knees nearly in the heads was not so great. But the one thing I want to advise you, clean your camera lens. It wouldn't be so smeary. Aaron Kirridge with his ZZR 1100. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope the bike's doing good. And again, these are bikes that I saw when I was young. So the thing is, you tend to associate things with where you first learnt about them. So you always tend to have that, like music. You tend to like music around the time that you were born more than modern stuff. Or as you grew up, or the style of music or something like that. And these are the sorts of bikes that I saw around when I was growing up. Daniel Rees with a Honda Hornet, which has got a very stubby exhaust on it. And have you removed more? Is that the original radiator? It looks huge. But yeah, Honda Hornet, solid bike. And I bet that thing is loud. Tom Broomhall with a 2017 Suzuki GSX S750. Yes, no, I have ridden that bike. Great turning, that's what I remember. Duncan Pearson with an Aprilia 1000. I'm not good with Aprilias. I'm really not. And also, is this bike supposed to be naked like this? Or not? Can I see any brackets or anything they look like? No, look, they got little extra bits on and stuff like that. It's definitely supposed to be this way. But I'm sure, maybe I'm recognising like half the bike and they made a fully faired version. I feel like I am. Mark Can with a Kawasaki, cannot remember the model number. I really do kind of wonder whether we need to get away from like the letters and the numbers and start putting names on bikes again. Although maybe naming a bike like makes it age faster rather than just being letters and numbers. It doesn't really say too much. Like when you say a Thundercat or a Thunder this race or something, you'd know the era of it. And then people take the name and then all the best names go, and then you end up having to call it like the Honda Carrot because you've run out of words. Ferdinand Maibra, I hope I said that right, with a Honda Cub. Is it? No, it's a monkey bike, isn't it? It's little mini things. I think I could ride this bike if I got like 2 per foot and turn them into skates. Ryan Haynes picking up this 2022 Duke 390 on the 24th. Ooh, 24th? That's tomorrow! Oh, I bet you're excited. Only a little upgrade for my 125. Well, you've gone from a Duke to a Duke. Jeff Penver with a Blackbird, aka a Honda CBR XX 1000. No, they were 1100s, weren't they? Yeah. I nearly bought a Blackbird. Not this one's newer than the one I was looking at. But it was just too big to get down the side of my house. Adam Smith with the 2005 ZX10R. Again, ZX10R. That is a bike I've not ridden. It seems insane. I've reviewed so many bikes, and yet some of the classic standout, like known to be absolutely fantastic bikes, I've never got to ride because the companies won't lend them to me, and there's no dealerships near here, or at least the companies don't know I exist. Yeah, there's much bigger and more important people out there to lend bikes to, so I get it. Sean Davison, R1150 RT. Now I've ridden the 1600 GT. Yeah, it was the R. Yeah, so it's kind of like this, but this is a little bit smaller, which is silly to say for 1150. How many miles has it got on it? That's something I'm interested with those sorts of bikes. The instant thing I want to know is how many miles has it got on it? Charlie parking his alleyway. Don't kill me. 2001 Yamaha FZS 600. Very nice. Very nice. We're on the last one from Bruce McGrath. Got a Street Triple 675, which is my baby. Fair enough. And I've ridden that era one. I'm trying to remember from the headlight. I am mostly amazed by the fact that most of you now have larger CC bikes. Or is that a byproduct of me asking this question on Facebook opposed to, say, TikTok? Like, you have to remember that when you ask questions in places that only certain people frequent, you're going to get a more filtered down version of everyone. So I don't know exactly who everyone is who watches my videos, but the people that follow me on Facebook, I now know who you are, and you have some fine bikes. Good mix, backs and forwards of pretty much everything. Styles, types, sizes, all good stuff because it's all two wheels. Thank you very much for watching this. Thank you for dropping your picture in, and I hope you don't get... I don't think I said anything very offensive. Sorry if you get offended I didn't roast your bike more, maybe. I don't know. It's not... Bikes are bikes, they're all cool. And I'm not picky and fussy about this, that, and all. This is old, that's new. Fair play. So very interesting. I feel like I know you a little bit better now. I know who I'm talking to. Because as I say, well, the other thing is, when you upload a video to YouTube, I'm sure you know, most people say like 79% of the people who watch this video aren't subscribed. That is because most of the people that watch that video, it will be the only video of yours they've ever watched and will be the only video of yours that they've ever going to watch. So you kind of feel like when you make videos, they're not really going to an audience, like to your subscribers like they used to, because they don't serve them to your subscribers the way they used to. Now it kind of feels like you're throwing it into the ether, and the people that watch you regularly, it's going to be in the home feed, you're going to pop up and stuff like that. But otherwise, it's just randoms, and you don't know who these people are. But at least I feel like I know the core people a little bit better. And I'm sure I've done this in the past, and I'm sure mostly people are on 125s. But quite a lot of people have started out riding when they first started watching me, like 10 or so years ago, and have progressed on to their full licenses and have been riding for years to this point, which is kind of nuts. Anyway, like it, subscribe, support, Patreon, YouTube memberships, stuff below. Bye-bye.